You ever notice a thought that shouldn't exist? Not loud, not spoken, just there, hovering at the edges of your mind, a shadow pressed behind your eyes. It arrives when you're not paying attention, in pauses between words, in flickers at the corner of your vision, in moments when your own mind suddenly feels foreign. I was paid to watch a room that wasn't there, or maybe it was always there. Maybe everyone else just didn't see it. It began slowly, small things at first, a step that echoed too long in an empty hallway, a door you were certain was closed, yet somehow ajar, the way the air shifted, almost breathing when no one else was around. At first, I told myself it was nothing, stress, fatigue, imagination, but your mind doesn't lie when it whispers. It watches. And it learns. Soon, the intrusion became subtle but persistent, a fleeting sense that someone or something was cataloging your every thought. Shadows twitch where none should be. Reflections appear wrong or too still, or too patient. The horror isn't in being watched. The horror is knowing you are the watcher. Your own mind has turned against itself. The brain that built the walls now wanders them alone. I didn't understand at first. I thought I was losing control, losing myself. But this was something else entirely. It's not weakness, it's survival instincts running unchecked. Primitive loops your consciousness was never meant to touch. Fear that doesn't wait, memory that doesn't forgive. And then, realization. There's a part of your brain that was never meant to be conscious, precise, cold, patient, cataloging your fears before you can even name them. And you, curious, aware, you noticed the door. Most people walk past it. You stopped, you watch, and now it watches you. You begin to feel a fracture in yourself. Thoughts split into rooms of their own, echoing corridors in the middle of your mind, where a reflection of you lingers, waiting, listening. You try to ignore it, try to convince yourself it's harmless, but it doesn't leave. It waits in corners, in silences, in forgotten memory. It waits for attention. The only way to survive is to sit, to watch, to know that fear itself is not the enemy. Ignorance is. Notice every thought, trace it back to its origin, sit with it. Observe it without letting it control your movements. Power isn't action, it isn't escape, it's alignment, perception, the ability to exist in a space where nothing is solid and still remain. The room doesn't need walls, it doesn't need a floor, it doesn't need to be noticed by anyone else. It only exists in awareness. Sometimes it seems to watch you back, not because it's alive, but because you gave it life the moment you saw it. The silence becomes a companion, the shadows familiar, and your reflection less a mirror, more a doorway. You realize the door doesn't exist for most people. For you, it has always been open. And one day, you'll notice something you can't unsee. Stepping inside isn't an option. It's already inside you. You are both the watcher and the watch, the room and the emptiness it contains. Every quiet moment now feels weighted. Every pause carries the possibility of recognition. Every shadow, every reflection, every thought carries a trace of the room you inhabit. The edges of your perception are no longer safe. The mind itself has become an unfamiliar place, a landscape where fear is natural, but understanding is dangerous. And still, you learn to sit with it. You learn to trace the thoughts, to notice without following, to align rather than act. Silence becomes strategy. Observation becomes control. The only escape is awareness. The only defense is knowing the room is always moving, always rearranging itself around you. So tonight, when you close your eyes, remember, the room is not waiting. It is already here. And what will you do when it begins to rearrange itself around you, within you, as you watch yourself watching back?